when Uthman was killed, his relatives and some of the other Meccans felt that the immediate beneficiary, meaning Ali, the son-in-law of the Prophet, and a cousin to him, would begin to face opposition from the clanism we were talking about. You see, Islam came to put an end to clanism, but then clanism will raise its ugly head when Uthman was assassinated. Because Ali succeeded Uthman, Ali was challenged. Now, during the rule of Omar, Muawiyah here, who was one of the companions of the Prophet, and he did play a role during the life of the Prophet as a young man, he would be promoted to be the governor in Syria. Now, this would be a major change in terms of the power shift, because with the appointment of Muawiyah as governor of Syria, that is going to have implications for the future political history of Islam and the history of Islam in the Middle East. Because many of the problems we face now and we face then originated from this development. Because what happened now is Muawiyah challenged Ali. But Ali did not have problems. I'm sure in your book, when you read your book, Muawiyah was not the only contender against Ali, questioning his legitimacy and his claim to the Khalifahood. The Prophet has an aunt whose son, Zubair, also had a stake, and he felt that he too was eligible. And he too challenged Ali's claim to the Khalifahood. But most significantly, not in terms of military, but really in terms of her relations to the Prophet and her relation to the four successors to the Prophet. When Aisha, the favorite wife of the Prophet, joined Talha and Zubair against Ali. And they met at the Battle of the Camel, where Ali defeated all of them. Now, that was a very tragic development, because Talha, you were told at the Battle of Uhud, the Prophet almost lost his life. He survived, thanks to God, but also because he had disciples who were willing to put their body seals. They created a body seal. And Talha was one of them. He lost his fingers from the archers, trying to protect the Prophet. That shows you the devotion of his disciples, that they were willing to form human seals, in his defense. And Talha was one. And Talha was one of them who challenged Ali. But they were defeated. Now, Muawiyah would challenge Ali, and they had the Battle of Siffin. Now, that's a crucial battle in the history of Islam, in terms of Islam in the Middle East. That was a crucial battle, because it appeared, according to many historians, that Ali was winning. But Muawiyah was a very smart guy. He was politically astute. So what Muawiyah did was, he asked his followers to take their Quran, put it on the lances, knowing fully well that Ali was not going to attack them. And then they came to a compromise. So they should have some kind of mediation. He was able to get Ammar ibn al-As. Now you see, you have to understand the clanism that was going on. Who is Ammar ibn al-As? Ammar ibn al-As was the one the Meccans sent to retrieve the Muslims from Abyssinia. Because Ammar ibn al-As himself has Abyssinian connections. Because many of those Meccans, they have Abyssinian connections. So Ammar ibn al-As became Muawiyah's representative in that negotiation. And Ali selected an old guy by the name of Abu Musa. And of course, the origins of some of the sectarianism that we see in Islam, the Khawarij. The Kharijites, and people like Osama bin Laden, is seen as an intellectual and historical descendants of the Kharijites in terms of their way of understanding and interpreting Islam and the way they respond to authority. Now, when Ali was facing Muawiyah and it came to arbitration, the Kharijites who supported Ali, because they were part of the group, we now call them Shia, the Shia group. The Shiites, this group supported Ali. That was his party, they supported him. This group will break away from that group because they disagree with Ali. They felt that Ali should not have negotiated. He's the Khalifa, he should not negotiate with his rival. You dilute your claims. So they broke away. Now, this group will become very notorious in Islamic history. And you cannot talk about Islam in the Middle East without devoting some segment, at least a couple of paragraphs to them in terms of the role they played. Because they weakened Ali's forces because they defected from him. Because of principle, they felt that you are the Khalifa, this guy is challenging your authority, we're supporting you, don't budge, don't go along with them. And of course, once they broke out, Ali was caught in a bind. He had to deal with this force that is contending his authority, and then he has to deal with his own ranks. And of course, Muawiyah gradually strengthened his power, and Ali would be assassinated by one of these guys. Now, Ali would be succeeded by his children. They will continue to provide leadership for this group. Hussein, well, you have two of them, Fatima, their mom. Fatima is the daughter who survived the Prophet, and she died soon after the Prophet. You heard from the previous presentation that the Prophet had many children, boys and girls, with Khadija, and Fatima was married to Ali. We gave Ali greater claim as far as he was concerned, that my wife is the Prophet's daughter, and I am the father of his grandkids. Now, the Shiites will develop this, and we are still suffering from this problem of sectarianism that grew out of that struggle a long time ago.